Mental Gen!
Hi-ho, this is Daedaltheus, and his friend Razor. Metalgen, sorry, I had something stuck in my throat. Alright, we're back online.
Alrighty then. The
Today,
story we are reading today is...
Twilight's Bad Day. Or Twilight Gets Horny.
Technically, the chapter is called Twilight's Bad Day, and the story is called Twilight Gets Horny, but either way, by Haze-Man. Awesome name. Anyway, without further ado, let it begin.
Knocking on the door to the Carousel Boutique did Twilight sparkle no good. It was Saturday morning, and it would be closed at least till noon. So the unicorn began to panic. She paced back and forth in front of the boutique, waving her cloak and gigantic hat to and fro. She hadn't worn this cloak since the Hearthstone Eve pageant, but it was the only thing that could cover her sensitive parts. She couldn't help but stick her hoof under her hat to scratch her horn. It was hot and glowing with a magical itch that was driving her mad.
So, she's joined the cult of Inglip.
Meh.
And for those of you who are going to correct me and say the cult of Smooze, no. We all know that Inglip would kick the living schnoz out of Smooze.
Oh, please, you haven't seen Smooze yet. Remind me to show you. She was so distracted that she didn't notice Rainbow Dash swoop down from the clouds.
Hey, Twilight. Rarity went out to visit her folks a while ago. She won't be back today.
As she landed, she noticed something off about the purple unicorn.
Say, are you alright? Yes, I'm alright. Why wouldn't I be alright?
Stammered Twilight. This immediately gave Rainbow Dash the impression that Twilight was not alright.
Hey, we're buds, right? You can tell me anything.
Smiled Rainbow Dash.
I'm sorry, Rainbow. It's a unicorn thing. I really need to speak with Rarity.
The blue Pegasus was a little insulted.
Well, I'll give you a shout if I see her.
She gave Twilight a suspicious eye. With that, she took off into the clouds. Within moments, she was out of sight.
Also, you should start a new line when a new character is speaking. Oh well.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Twilight was aware she hurt her friend's feelings, but she couldn't stop now. She reached under her gigantic hat and felt her horn. It was sparkling and hot with energy. Beneath it, a hot bulge was formed. With a loud pop, burst forward, and Twilight could feel a second horn under her first. Even worse, another bulge was forming up by her left ear.
No, not again!
Meanwhile, it took Twilight a lot of nervous questioning before she could even get the address of Rarity's parents.
If they live in the same town, why didn't she have that anyway? Oh well.
On top of that, the house turned out to be way across town, by the lake. It would be tea time before she could gallop all the way over there. She galloped as fast as she could down Main Street without blowing her off her gigantic hat. It was then when a freak gust of wind blew through the streets of Ponyville. Shop signs were knocked over, clothes were torn off by the gale. After a high-pitched shriek, Twilight stood in the street of Ponyville, naked, with their many new horns visible to every pony.
Bow, chicka, bow, wow. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Moving on!
Shame on you! Twilight was mortified. In time, it had taken her to trot around town. She had accumulated 5 new horns on her head, another 5 down her neck and crest.
Maybe nobody will notice.
She thought to herself.
I mean, we'll cover them, right?
To her horror, the other ponies did notice. There were whispers and sideways glances. One gray Pegasus must have thought Twilight was in a punk band because she shot her an air guitar. Teleportation was impossible, since her magic was cancelled out by the additional horns. She began galloping as fast as she could. These were Earth ponies. Do they even know what the horns mean?
I'm gonna guess no.
She could feel all the eyes of Ponyville on her horn-covered body. Yet, her destination was just yards away. In a mad panic, she bailed straight for Rarity's parents' house. Twilight launched forward and rang the doorbell of Rarity's folks' house. With a second leap, she jumped into the shrubbery. She barely got behind cover before the door was answered by a unicorn filly. It was Rarity's little sister, Thrackerzod. Oh, hi, Twilight. What are you doing in that bush? And why do you have so many horns? That is not normal.
I like bushes. Can you please get your sister for me? It's urgent!
Twilight probably could have made a better request for the filly. Would have behooved her to be more specific when instructing the young Thrackerzod, because she immediately took a deep breath and screamed with her mighty lungs so the whole town could hear. Hey, big sis! Twilight's here! She likes bushes! She says she needs you right now! And she's really horny! From deep within the house, Twilight could hear a spit take, possibly several. She was so embarrassed, she could feel her coat turning red. Sure enough, her friend Rarity finally appeared in the doorway and was empathetic. Being a mature unicorn, Rarity knew exactly what was happening when she saw Twilight.
Oh, you poor thing!
Rarity rubbed her nose gently against Twilight's.
I'll take you home and fix you.
With a knowing odd and some awkward glances from her parents, Rarity covered Twilight with another cloak and hat and walked her back home across town.
And obligatory scene change.
Late that afternoon, they arrived back at the Carousel Boutique. Twilight sheepishly removed her hat as she entered.
I'm so sorry to have embarrassed you like that, Rarity.
The white unicorn sighed.
Oh, it's okay, darling. I was only having tea with my parents, and Mare, and Fancy Pants, and those 3 nuns. Oh, well, no matter. What can I do for you, dearie?
Twilight scoffed at Rarity's flip.
I'm a unicorn. I'm only supposed to have 1 horn. Uni means 1.
No shit.
Yes, dear. I speak French. Now let's get up to my bedroom and take care of this.
Up the stairs to the
For
right.
the record, I would just like to say this is not a clopfic.
Meanwhile, up the stairs and to the right of the parlor, they trotted briskly into Rarity's bedchamber.
Now, where is that book? I haven't seen it since I got out of magic classes as a filly. Oh, no matter. There's a copy in the Pony Sutra. This exists. I've seen other references to this Pony Sutra, and not just in other fanfics. Seriously, what is wrong with you people? Moving right along.
She magically opened her nightstand drawer and floated out a small black book.
I would make a Bible Black reference now, but I am not going to.
Just did. She flipped to the second appendix and began reading.
Oh yes, of course. Now, stand back.
With a glow and a sparkle rarely seen in Rarity's horn, a massive spell shot in Twilight's direction. She was bathed in light for a moment, then began sparkling on her own. Rarity saw her friend spring back to life with only her original horn still in place. Twilight checked her forehead and was relieved. Now that the urgency had passed, she was going to have some explaining to do.
Now, dearie, I know you're too busy with your studies to have a full-time boyfriend, but surely you've been getting some on the side.
Rarity consoled. Twilight sunk into the floor.
Well, I was going to someday. My mom gave me the talk about how unicorn mares have certain needs, and I knew places in Canterlot where I thought I would go to eventually, but before I knew it, I had moved to Ponyville, and this is an Earth Pony town. They don't seem to have those sorts of places here.
So, let me get this straight. Canterlot has a red light district. Well, then again, if I think about it really hard, Ponyville wouldn't have one given to the small size of the town, so they'd probably have at least a brothel or a whorehouse.
Yeah, Ponyville seems more like a suburb to a much larger town. It's like, yeah, you know what? That's exactly what it is. It's the suburb of Canterlot. They wouldn't have a red light district.
Well, even Springfield had to. Never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And hell, the town we're in has a red light district.
Mm-hmm.
Moving right along.
Big one at that.
Yeah. Pun very much intended.
Mm-hmm. Rarity sat on the bed and flung her locks about.
Yes, but surely there's some Earth Pony here who could strike your fancy, even for just one night.
Rarity gasped.
Twilight! Are you saying you've never?
No, I haven't. I never, found the time.
Confess, Twilight.
You mean you never, ever? No wonder you were so bad. I'm surprised you were a porcupine. We need to get you to Big Macintosh right away.
What? But he's my friend's brother. Wouldn't that be awkward?
Oh, darling. Mac is like the town doorknob. Every man gets a turn. Darling, haven't you ever wondered why that boy is so soft-spoken? It's because his reputation precedes him. Look, if it's an issue, I know many, not too many, nice, healthy, earth pony stallions that would surely be able to help you out.
Boing! Twilight, whom was curled into a ball on the floor, nervously spoke.
They won't hurt me, will they?
Rarity gave her friend a reassuring hug.
Oh, Twilight, why do you think I stayed in Ponyville all this time and haven't moved to Canterlot? Once you go Earth Pony, you can never go back. So that's why Ponyville doesn't have a red light district.
It has a red light stallion.
Bow chicka bow wow. Okay, that one was actually warranted. Anyway.
With another hug, Twilight's nerves were quelled. They trotted out the door together, leaving the bedroom empty, or so they thought. Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie climbed up out of their hiding place behind Rarity's wardrobe. The blue Pegasus fidgeted with the Super 8 camera under her wing.
Shoot! I was sure we'd get some juicy blackmail footage for pranking.
Pinkie Pie jumped up.
Oh, silly Rainbow Dash. You're too much. You still owe Twilight an apology for what you did to her in town. I know. I just thought she was in season. I didn't realize she was so horny.
But
What was all that about anyway? I don't know. Guess it must be a unicorn thing.
Wait, sorry, I said that wrong.
I don't know. I guess being a unicorn means you're always a little horny.
But sing. Rainbow Dash sighed.
Come on. If we hurry, we can still catch them on their way across town. Sorry, Dashy. I gotta get to Sweet Apple Acres. What? Why? It's my turn.
At the doorknob.
But Tish.
The end.
Well, that was certainly entertaining. I'd give this story a good solid 8.5. Short, sweet, and really, actually, I spent too much time thinking about the concept of this while I was reading it to even pay attention. What? How does that even work? Where do the horns come from? Why do they impede Matt? I'm thinking too hard about a stupid story. Okay, it's not stupid, but I'm thinking too hard about a fan fiction of My Little Pony. What has become of me? What have I become?
One of us. Anyway, I would also give it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's fun, entertaining, and put together rather well.
Yeah, for those of you who don't get the whole "what have I become" thing, my description on my FinFiction account describes me as I'm as much of a brony as Alexander Brisbane is a villain. I am not a brony. Not a brony. I do not go on FinFiction. I do not have an account with which I read dramatic readings. I do not watch ponies. I'm sorry. Were you laughing at? I'm sorry. Were you laughing at ponies? I can't touch that. Not a brony, you see.
You're so full of shit. It's coming out of your mouth.
Now you just reminded me of that episode of South Park.
You're welcome. Anyway, have a good night, children.
Yeah, and enjoy watching your pony stuff. Not that I will. Not a brony, you see.
Oh, shut up. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Good night.